Hello there, Qckslvrslash here, and today we've got another How I Play, and this time it is going to be the Atago. Now, of the Tier 8 Japanese cruisers, obviously in the tech tree you have the Mogami, and as a premium vessel we got the Atago, and if I had to pick one, I will always pick the Atago. I don't know what it was about the Mogami, I just couldn't play her. Something about just the way she handled, her size, the guns, I don't know. I just never got the feel for the ship, and I never really had good games. And it could just be prejudiced. I didn't like the ship, so everything felt like junk. The Atago, on the other hand, I have greatly enjoyed. So let's dig into how I have her set up before we hop into battle. Pretty straightforward, premium consumables. I've got defensive AA and the fighter because while Hydro can be very useful in certain situations, I tend to like to kite a bit when I have the chance, and if you've got an aircraft carrier there, you can really get picked apart in these Japanese cruisers. At least that's what I find. As far as upgrades go, I've got Main Armament 1, Aiming Mod 1, Damage Control 1. I've gone for faster rudder shift and then concealment. Now, as far as my captain goes, this one pretty straightforward. I've gone with Preventative Maintenance, Expert Marksman, Superintendent, Demolition Expert, and Concealment. And the reason I've gone with Demolition Expert is the Japanese already have a high fire chance, and boosting that, you know, my general theory with a lot of these skills is emphasize what a ship does well already. So if you've got something that is a great fire starter, make it better. If you've got something that is really stealthy, make it stealthier. If you know, so on and so forth. That is how I play the ships. So let's hop into a battle and see how she goes. Start of a battle, and as you can see it, I've drawn a lucky straw. No tier 10s, in fact I am the big ship, and well, that feels good. Off the start here, I think I'm gonna head over to Alpha. Normally on this map I might take this ship towards Charlie just because it is a little more open, but because I'm a tier 8, there's some tier 6s, I can't play as passively as I might. You know, a lot of people kind of complain, or at least you seem to see that a lot on the forums, about tier 8 cruisers winding up in tier 10 games and just being completely outclassed, and I really enjoy the higher tier games in the Atago because you can fall back and you can really kind of milk this ship in its best role, which is just sitting at the back, supporting cruiser, long range fire, starting fires, dropping shells and citadels into the things that are sitting side on, and really just building up long-term damage. However, being the big ship, you can't really afford to sit back as much. Now that said, I'm not going full bore. I'm not throwing myself away. I've got no intention of doing that. Already at A, we can see it's going to be pretty lonely here. And an Amago, Qckslvrslash, or not an Amago, an Amagi, a Qckslvrslash, and a Destroyer are definitely over here. There's a King George coming this way. There's a Benson and Bravo. So I'm going to start opening my distance up. I don't want to be an easy target in close if I get spotted because this destroyer leaves its smoke. Now obviously torpedoes just loaded up, and that is definitely a strength of these Japanese cruisers, the 10-kilometer torps. The only issue is, as you can see, the arcs are normally pretty bad. I completely ate my own words there. I was going to say they're all terrible, and I forgot that the Atago gets one that sweeps forward. Anyways, here's an Amagi, and you can see fire H or AP off that first volley, and what I was really actually hoping to see was this cooter. I didn't, but I got some hits. Sadly, no damage for my effort. Now, just because I'm alone over here doesn't mean I'm gonna run away. We can't afford to let this team get through Alpha and really start pushing into us, because you can see we're not making any concerted pushes anywhere else. Hopefully this Graf Spee gets into Charlie and the Martel and it can take out this Bismarck. But for now what I'm gonna do is just work behind this chunk of land here to put it between me and any hard spotting, and really just hope for the best. I do have my fighter up, which means I should be able to see past this smoke if I can get close enough. Or at least things behind it. Now of course my other option is to go right out on the flank. I don't really want to do that, not yet at least, simply because I don't know where enough of their ships are. Things are starting to get spotted now, so the picture is filling in, but as it was, I had no intention of getting out on that flank, and obviously right here I started to switch the ammo because I saw an Edinburgh coming. I wanted AP ready for him. And it should also be pretty obvious, this Farragut has probably, more than likely, launched some torpedoes. So I'm getting myself turned around. Those could have been better aimed, but I did get a citadel, so I can live with that. And I'm gonna get out of here. Now obviously, one of the really unique aspects to the Atago over its tier 8 brethren, or sister ship, the Mogami, is it gets that repair party, and that is so useful because, like, right now, I got lit on fire. I don't really care. It's not lost health. I was hoping that Farragut would stay spotted a little bit longer, but I still managed to hit one shell. So that hopefully kind of backs him off. And you can see we do have some support coming over this way. A Scharnhorst and a New Orleans have joined, and that North Carolina's gotten itself into a good position behind this island at Alpha. What is important is that I don't let his side get taken, and that's why I'm going to maintain my position here, and I'm just going to try to keep myself outside of any incoming torpedo range from that Farragut. If he can't get close enough, he's never going to hit me, and there we go, a nice little hit. Shells dropping in, hitting the engine, lighting a fire, so he's forced to repair that right away, which means if I can figure out which direction he is about to sail, or just get a lucky guess, I may be able to light a new fire. Sadly, not going to be the case today. Now I'm really liking what I'm seeing on the map. Our team has pushed forward, we've gotten Bravo, we're taking Charlie, we've forced that Bismarck way back, there's an Atlanta who's getting pincered in. The only thing we have to be careful of is those of us over at Alpha need to stay alive. This is an absolute must. If we start dying, their team's going to get to push through, and we need to buy time for our team over in Bravo and Charlie to really get into a proper position to start flanking this enemy fleet. As it stands right now, that is a very big chunk of ships. There's no way we're pushing into it. The way we win this battle right here, right now, is patience and just keeping ourselves alive. You can see the North Carolina, it looks like, got a big hit on the Edinburgh, and I hit him to finish him off. First kill of the game. I'm only up to 20,000 damage, which definitely not what I'd like to see in a game like this. But I haven't really had my opportunity to push in. I'm trying to play intelligently, bide my time for the moment that it makes sense to push in. And I think that time is getting ever closer. Got the Qckslvrslash spotted. There's their Atago. Doesn't look to be sailing very fast though, so we'll see how these do. I always kind of hate when ships sail at part speed because my first volley is normally a little far off. Whereas if they're going at full bore, I can most of the time pretty much figure out where to aim. Now while I shoot at this Atago, I'm obviously thinking about the Bayern ahead of me. He's a big concern, and these AP shells just not working out, so I've got HE loading. You can see the Atago's starting to pick up steam, so a little more lead, half of those are going into the island, and it's time for me to get turned. But as I turn, it's also time to torpedo at things. Because you can see this Bayern is turning in. And this right here, this is why I have concealment. I was behind solid cover when I fired, so I'm not spotted right now. Which means I managed to get torpedoes off here without this Bayern really thinking about it. So now my strategy is to light fires. Because I want him to waste that damage cooldown and sail straight into some of my torpedoes. If I can do that, things are going to go well. I obviously have to be careful about giving it too much of my side and just kind of keep the rudder moving as I eat a massive hit. Oh, that definitely stinks. But no time to dwell on it. The Bayern put the fires out, which means I can light some fresh ones. And I'm just going to keep my ship sailing away and wiggling back and forth. It's about all you can do in this situation. Realistically, I could have held my fire there, but I got greedy. I wanted damage. You can see our team is winning this. We're starting to kind of push through them. And this is what I talked about when I said biding our time. We just needed the fleet at Charlie to wrap around and get into a position to start working damage, and the game would go well. All of us, for the most part, have survived down here. We lost nobody, actually. The North Carolina is still alive. It's sailing up through the middle. So things, I'd say, are going pretty good. And because the Bayern decided to turn off rather than chase, I've got myself some comfortable distance. Last chunk of damage, and I'm just going to get out of here. Fires are finishing him off. Our friendly friendly New Orleans, the one that gets it. And sadly, they get a parting gift through my stern. Some more damage. And I'm just going to keep myself moving, keep the rudder shifting, and hope for the best as I engage with this Qckslvrslash. And I'm actually going to load up some AP. And the reason I'm doing this is you can see the way he's turning is exposing a lot of side. I'm really feeling a good shot from me, and I can get in to that citadel. Sadly, it looks like he's turning in. So, I'm just going to be patient. I don't have to fire now. I can wait. And hopefully I get a decent aspect. It doesn't look like I'm going to. Friendlies finish him off. And that's pretty much going to be the game for me. So, not a huge chunk of damage. Only 44,000, the one kill. But I think we really did what we had to here at A. There was 4 of us here for a bit. We pretty much paused and held up the entirety of their enemy team. You know, I stopped that Farragut from getting in, getting the side of our battleship, and I think delayed a push around the side just by my presence over here. And then we just waited for the rest of the team to round up through Bravo and Charlie and get into a position that we could start slicing through the enemy team. So now, let's see what the post-battle looks like. And I'm not expecting too crazy of results from this. 270,000 credits, 3,500 experience on a win of the day, 44,000 damage, the 1 kill, and kind of mid-bottom of the team. But we got the win. That's what matters so much. At least to me, I'd rather win than have some stellar game. And honestly, if you play smart, you're going to get the games where you get crazy damage. You're going to have some where maybe you don't, but the game goes well and your team doesn't implode on you. As far as the detailed report goes, not a ton to see here. I didn't get any torpedoes, sadly. I really do wish that Bayern turned in towards me. That's kind of what I was hoping for. Didn't happen though. Still got just shy of 22,000 damage on him between my shells and fires. And because she is a premium vessel, end of the day, I'm taking home 165,000 credits and, well, 3,600 experience. I hope people enjoyed this. I know it wasn't the most exciting game, but That's not what these are always about. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up or subscribing to the channel. As always, I'm Qckslvrslash, and I'll have another one for you all later.